The steering wheel jerked violently in my hands as my tires lost their grip. In that moment, as my car slid toward the cliff edge, time didn't slow down like they say. Instead, everything sped up. My life didn't flash before my eyes, just one thought: this is how it ends, but I'm still here. And what I learned on the world's most treacherous roads changed everything I thought I knew about danger, survival, and why we're drawn to push our limits. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. For those who are new here, I'm Your Name, and I've spent the last decade exploring extreme places most people avoid, but nothing prepared me for what happened when I decided to drive the 4 most dangerous roads on Earth in a single month. This isn't just another extreme roads video. This is about what happens to your mind when you're navigating hairpin turns with a 2,000-foot drop and no guardrail. About the communities who call these deadly routes the school bus route. Before we get into it, only about 40% of you watching are actually subscribed. If you enjoy hearing stories from the edge, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Where we're going, you'll want a guide. It started with a question that wouldn't leave me alone. What separates a challenging drive from a deadly one? After my close friend nearly lost his life on Bolivia's death road, I became obsessed with understanding why some routes earn their terrifying reputations. I spent months researching the statistics, training with professional rally drivers, and modifying my vehicle with every safety feature imaginable. My family thought I was crazy. My insurance company, well, let's just say they weren't thrilled. But here's the thing about dangerous roads: they don't just kill people randomly. There are patterns. And I wanted to understand them not just to survive, but because I believe there's something profoundly human about confronting these places where civilization and chaos meet. So I created a list: 4 roads, 3 continents, 1 month, each one deadlier than the last. The Dalton Highway in Alaska isn't dangerous because of heights or narrow passages. It's dangerous because of its isolation. 400 miles of gravel cutting through absolute wilderness, with only 3 towns along the way. Temperatures dropping to minus 80 degrees Fahrenheit in winter. My second day on the Dalton, my radiator cracked from the constant barrage of flying rocks. As steam hissed from under my hood, I realized the true danger. Breaking down meant potential death by exposure. The nearest tow truck was 157 miles away. I spent 9 hours beside my disabled vehicle before a trucker finally appeared. Jim had been driving the Dalton for 27 years. "This road doesn't kill you quick," he told me as he helped me rig a temporary repair. "It kills you slow, makes you part of the landscape." That night, listening to truckers share their near-death experiences, I understood. This road wasn't just a path through wilderness, it was a test of self-reliance that few modern experiences can match. From Alaska's isolation, I traveled to the Guoliang Tunnel Road in China's Henan province. Carved by hand through a mountain by villagers desperate for connection to the outside world, this 3/4-mile tunnel is barely wide enough for 2 vehicles to pass. Windows carved irregularly into the cliff face provide the only light and glimpses of the dizzying drop below. Despite its danger, or perhaps because of it, the tunnel has become a tourist attraction. I found myself navigating the narrow passage with buses on one side and motorcycles darting through on the other. Halfway through, I met an elderly man who remembered carving the tunnel himself. Through my translator, he explained how 13 villagers died during its construction. "Before this tunnel," he said, "we carried our dead down the mountain on our backs. Now we drive them. Progress always costs something." As I emerged from the tunnel's darkness, I realized this road represented something profound: how humans reshape geography itself rather than accept isolation. Nothing could have prepared me for Pakistan's Fairy Meadows Road, a name so peaceful for a 6-mile dirt track cut into the side of Nanga Parbat, the world's 9th highest mountain. No guardrails, width in places narrower than my vehicle, unstable surface constantly eroding, sheer drops of thousands of feet. I hired a local driver, Karim, who had navigated this road hundreds of times. The trick, he told me with impossible calm, is to never look down, never stop, and always give way to vehicles coming down. Halfway up, we encountered a jeep descending. With no room to pass, Karim had to reverse nearly half a mile along the cliff edge, using only his side mirrors to navigate. When I asked why the road wasn't improved, Karim's answer was surprising. This road protects Fairy Meadows. If it was easy to reach, it would be destroyed by too many visitors. When we finally reached the impossibly beautiful green plateau beneath towering peaks, I understood. Some paradises remain pristine precisely because they're hard to reach. Bolivia's North Youngest Road, Death Road, lives up to its name. 300 deaths yearly on its 43-mile stretch, dropping from 15,000 feet to 4,000 feet through the Amazon rainforest. Single-lane width for two-way traffic, fog, rain, mudslides. I'd saved it for last, believing my experiences had prepared me. I was wrong. 3 hours in, as I navigated a narrow section, an overloaded bus appeared around the corner. On Death Road, descending vehicles have right-of-way, meaning I had to back up to a wider section. As I reversed slowly, hugging the inside wall, my right rear tire slipped over the edge. The vehicle tilted. Everything inside slid toward the open drop. This was the moment I mentioned at the beginning. My vehicle balanced precariously, one wrong move from tumbling thousands of feet. The bus driver saw my situation. Instead of waiting, he guided his massive vehicle inch by inch past mine. As he did, he reached out his window and pressed something into my hand through my open window. A small carved figure of Saint Christopher, patron saint of travelers. Once the bus passed, local coca farmers appeared seemingly from nowhere, helping me winch my vehicle back onto solid ground. They refused payment, only asking that I tell others about the real Death Road, not just its danger, but how it connects communities who have no other way to travel. 4 roads, 30 days, countless moments where disaster was separated from safety by inches or seconds. But here's what I never expected to learn. The world's most dangerous roads aren't just geological features. They're living entities that form relationships with the people who use them. The truckers on the Dalton Highway aren't just driving, they're participating in a wilderness ritual. The villagers who carved the Guoliang Tunnel weren't just creating access, they were defying isolation. The Fairy Meadows Road doesn't just lead to beauty, it protects it. And Death Road isn't just deadly, it's a lifeline for communities with no alternatives. We fear these places, and we should, but we're also drawn to them because they strip away our illusions of safety and control. They remind us that the modern world, for all its conveniences, still has edges, places where nature sets the terms, not us. I started this journey wanting to conquer dangerous roads. I ended it with profound respect for the people who travel them daily out of necessity, not choice. If you found this story worth your time, please hit subscribe for more explorations of the world's extreme places. Next month, I'll be taking you to places where people live with active volcanoes as neighbors. Until then, travel safely and remember that every road has its own wisdom to teach.